We've all been there. The heat rising in your chest, that tunnel vision where the only thing that matters is getting even or being heard. In that moment, you feel powerful. But why is it that 5 minutes later, you often feel exhausted, guilty, or even more alone? Most people think wrath is about being mean, but in psychology, wrath is known as a secondary emotion. It's a mask for something much deeper. Let's jump in. So, think of wrath like a smoke alarm. The alarm is loud and annoying, but it's not the fire. It's just a signal that something else is burning. Psychologists often say that anger is a bodyguard emotion. When we feel vulnerable, maybe we feel disrespected, hurt, or powerless, our brain feels unsafe. Since feeling hurt is a weak position, the brain flips a switch and turns that hurt into anger. Anger feels strong. Anger feels like control, but it's a lie. You're not in control. You're just reacting to a wound you're too afraid to look at. The brain hijack. When wrath takes over, something happens in your head called an amygdala hijack. Your lizard brain, that ancient survival-driven part of your mind, takes the steering wheel. It shuts down your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic and empathy. And this is why you say things you don't mean, or this is why you break things you love. In that moment, your brain doesn't think you're in a conversation. It thinks you're in a life or death fight. The problem is, in the modern world, we use a warrior's response to solve a misunderstanding. The cost of the fire. The ancient saying goes, holding into anger is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. Wrath is the only sin that actively destroys the person carrying it, as much as the person it's aimed at. It burns your relationships. It burns your health. And most importantly, it burns your clarity. When you are angry, you are easy to manipulate. When you are angry, you stop being a leader and start being a victim of your own impulses. So, how do we master the sin of wrath? First, find the primary emotion. Next time you feel the heat of anger, ask yourself, what am I actually feeling underneath this? Is it fear? Is it rejection? Is it embarrassment? Once you name the real feeling, the anger loses its power. A bodyguard has no job if there's nothing to protect. Second, the 90-second rule. Think of an emotion like a wave. When you're triggered, a surge of stress hormones flushes through your body, and it takes about 90 seconds for that reaction to fade away. During those 90 seconds, your logical brain is temporarily offline. But if you can just breathe and wait for the wave to pass, you'll find your clarity again. Just wait for the storm to settle and take a deep breath. Third, choose response over reaction. A reaction is a reflex. A response is a choice. Think of it like this. Someone cuts you off in traffic. A reaction is immediately slamming your horn in rage. A response is feeling that flash of anger, but choosing to stay calm, because you know a fight won't get you home any faster. Wrath wants you to react. Wisdom wants you to respond. So to wrap this up, anger is a bodyguard for deeper, more vulnerable feelings. The amygdala hijack is a survival response that isn't needed in a modern argument. If you can wait 90 seconds for the wave to pass, you can choose how to respond instead of being a slave to your rage. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean you never get angry. It means you've learned how to hold the fire without letting it burn you. If you want to understand how this need for control and the fear of being not enough drives almost all of our darker impulses, watch my video on greed right here. It explores how that primitive part of us is constantly chasing more to feel safe. And it's the perfect bridge to truly understanding your inner fire. I'm curious, what is your trigger? What is that one thing that always seems to push you over the edge? Let's talk about it in the comments. Take care. Bye.